All right, guys, so the third main factor that's going to affect your overall general mobility comes down to how many reps are you doing per set, or in the case where you can't easily count reps like sprinting or rowing or intervals on an assault bike, how long are the intervals that you are doing? Now, these numbers only apply when the activity is strenuous enough that you're unable to talk, that you're unable to have a conversation. That means that it's moved beyond it being simply aerobically taxing, and instead you got to use a little bit more of the explosive power systems in your body, and you got to use air to propel you through the movement. So in the case where you can't talk and do what you're doing, the general parameters come down to 10 reps maximum for explosive plyometric movements. And when movements are a little bit more slow and controlled, like powerlifting or something that's got less momentum to it, you're going to want to cap the reps at 5. Now, in the case where you can't easily count reps, you have to sort of time an interval. The longest interval you're going to want to do, if your priority is mobility, is 20 seconds. All right, so why 10 reps for plyometrics? Well, what it comes down to is study after study has shown that in general, after 10 successive all-out contractions, all-out repetitions of an explosive movement, your power drastically drops. And this is a really simple experiment for you to try on your own, just simply doing squat jumps, jumping as high as you possibly can up and down. Go ahead and try. After 10 repetitions, you're gonna find that you just can't jump as high, and things start getting really weird. Coordination, muscle timing, all falls apart. So although you can go past 10, your performance is gonna be awesome, and the likelihood that you're gonna pull something goes through the roof. So stop at 10. All right, so when an activity isn't necessarily plyometric, isn't necessarily explosive, why are we going to stop at 5? Well, what it comes down to is you were trying to avoid being overly sore after your training session. Repetitions between 3 and 5 tend to build a lot of strength, and as you get closer to 5, you start to build muscle. As the repetitions go up to 10 and beyond, you're gonna have more of a muscle building effect. The muscle is gonna be filled with blood. You're gonna have a hypertrophy effect as a result of doing that regularly. However, what a lot of us will experience is that when the reps of your sets move from 5 upwards to 10 and beyond, you get more sore after those training sessions. And so your mobility is gonna suffer. So if your goal is to build muscle, to put on mass, you're gonna need to go often into those higher reps within those sets, but anyone knows how much you will suffer in between your training sessions. So your mobility in your daily life will suffer as well. If your goal is, maybe I'd like to put on some mass, but I really want to get stronger, and the freedom that I experience in my day-to-day is a really big priority above all else, cap your reps at 5 with those more controlled and strenuous movements. Life's going to be a lot more enjoyable outside of those training sessions. All right, so in the case where you can't count reps, all you can do is a timed interval. Why are we stopping at 20 seconds? Well, what this comes down to is the maximum that any of us as a Homo sapiens seem to have when it comes to our anaerobic energy system. That's the rocket fuel system that we've all got. Now, some folks are going to use up that energy system after 7-8 seconds of work. This is the incredibly explosive, powerful athlete. They're able to rip it, and it's amazing the amount of calories that they could do, say, on an assault bike. They're going to get gassed much quicker than 20 seconds, whereas someone that may be a little bit less explosive, less powerful, maybe a little bit more of a slow twitch athlete, they're going to be able to go longer into 15-20 seconds. So that's something for you to self-experiment with. In general, you're going to know when you run out of rocket fuel and you start moving into those more survival energy systems known as glycolysis, because you start panting. And as soon as you start panting and you're unable to sync the air with the propulsion of the movement, well, the wheels start falling off the bus and you're gonna pull something, and you certainly aren't gonna be able to scratch your back all that easily after that training session.